Hey, what's going on, Pokemon fans? Trainer Connor 100 here. Welcome back to another Pokemon Battle video. Before we start, let me just say thank you so much to everyone who watched my most recent YouTube shorts. A lot of them have done extremely well, and it's because of you guys. I truly appreciate it. Also, a quick life update. It's been a fantastic year so far, minus a fractured hand, almost fully recovered there. I did watch the Pokemon's 30th anniversary presentation, which got its Pokemon wins and waves, Pokemon FireRed and Leafgreen ports on the Nintendo Switch, and the release date for Pokemon Champions, which is slated for April. I've been playing FireRed with my friends via game chat and in person. I got about 100 hours or so by the time this video gets out. I really hope they release Pokemon Emerald version at some point. I personally think it's gonna happen, just a matter of when. Then there's Pokemon Pokepedia. It blends Animal Crossing with Pokemon, which has been pretty popular with fans right now, and I would love to play this game at some point this year. If I'm being honest, it's great to be a Pokemon fan right now. Let me know what you guys think about these games and what you're playing right now. I would love to hear your experiences. Anyways though, this battle is against my awesome rival Ruins, aka Ruins Game Room on YouTube. He recently went through a rebrand and his videos are top notch. Go subscribe to him. His most recent video, which is about the Mega Dimensions DLC, is a must-watch. The video link will be in the description below. Now we can focus on the battle itself. We had this in person because that's how it works in these games. Now hear me out. Ruins here is utilizing a Sun team. That's right. He used a Sun team during his run of FireRed and it actually worked well in his favor. On my side though, I have Venusaur, Pidgeot, Alakazam, Arcanine, Dragonite, and Tyranitar, who I believe is the only member that I EV trained. It has max HP, max physical attack, and a little bit of defense. You gotta remember, there's no physical or special split in Gen 3, and that definitely got me during this battle. Let's start this thing, here we go. Ruins, thanks again for the battle, and I hope we battle more in the future, especially in Pokemon Champions. So I begin with Arcanine here, who has a Kidamate, which doesn't affect Charizard here that much, because Fire types are special in Generation 3. Right off the bat, I go for Extreme Speed, if only because I don't have anything super effective. I was worried he might predict that and switch out into Golem, but I have to make that safe play, especially on turn 1. After Charizard goes for Sunny Day, Ruins switches out and goes into Exeggutor. This proved to be a really good move by my opponent as I bring out Tyranitar to get rid of the said Sunny Day. But he got the better end of that deal for sure. Here I switch out, and there's a lot of switching in this battle. Spoiler alert, that's just what happens. I was expecting the Giga Drain coming in my direction. So we go to Skylar here, who is my awesome Pidgeot, and I figured he would switch out. Unfortunately, U-turn does not exist in this game yet, so we either have to stay in or we switch out again. He does switch out. I knew he had a Magneton. I didn't really share what he was bringing to the table, so I'll say what he brings out during this battle. Anyways, I go for Fly here, which will not do that much damage to the Magneton. We have Arcanine in the back, and even Tyranitar as well. Unfortunately, he goes for the Reflect, which raises defenses. The Sandstorm still rages on, and we take a little bit of damage. In Generation 3, Sandstorm lasts the entire battle, whereas now it only lasts 5 turns. Now we see Magneton carrying leftovers, which you can get in FireRed and Leafgreen with the item finder. I switch out and go into Arcanine here, K9, but he goes for Thunder Wave. Another fantastic prediction by my opponent here. That really sucks because Arcanine is pretty fast in this game. But I do have priority, but at the same time, being paralyzed, it does cut my longevity. Here's where I make a really bad misplay. I predicted him to switch out into Golem, But the problem is, even though I am going for Dig, he goes for Earthquake on the next turn. So Coldbuster, probably one of the best names I've ever heard in FireRed and Leafgreen, it's doubled the power. So Earthquake is base what, 100 attack? There's no way that K9 surviving this hit, so that sucks. What can you do? That was a great play, again, by my opponent. He's a sucker for Generation 3. Can you tell? Now I'm forced to go into Bloom here, my Venusaur. Probably one of the best starters to use in FireRed and Leafgreen. Unless you want to challenge me, pick, I guess, Charmander. But in this situation, I am forced to go into my Venusaur and pretty much go for a Sleep Powder. I'm trying to get my momentum back on my side of the battle. I've already lost a couple of Pokemon. We go for Sleep Powder on the Magneton named Zero here, which is great and all, but I don't have anything to hit the Magneton with, and without Arcanine, I don't know how I'm going to. We're just gonna have to chip away at it, as they say. Now, it's cool that my opponent is using a Magneton because it's weak to fire. He has a Sun Team. He also has a Flareon with the ability Flash Fire. So if you go for Flamethrower, Fire Blast, I don't know, Blast Burn if you want to go crazy, that forces him to switch into Flareon if you're not careful. And that's why I love his concept of this Sun Team. You bring a Steel type who's weak to fire, you bring a Flash Fire user, it works on every level. Anyways though, you see that Venusaur went for a Leech Seed, and then we can go into Tyranitar, which I hope to use Earthquake. Of course, Crunch won't do anything because it's Generation 3, it's not neutral yet. So we see Leftovers again, and then we get stopped, or he gets stopped away with the Leech Seed, and we get some HP back. Well, not really, because we're at full HP. Anyways, he does switch out again, and I'm getting tired of all this switching out. So we're gonna go for that awesome prediction, because I knew he was switching the Rocket here, the Charizard, and so we go for Rock Slide. Fortunately, we don't miss. That's been a theme for most of my fights. We had a couple of battles, and this is one of them. I don't know if I'll post the other one, but we'll see. This took a while to edit, so. But, like, yeah. We hit the Rock Slide, and that's great. Now here's another Pokemon that I had trouble in this entire battle. Weatherman the Golduck. And Golduck is severely underrated because the Cloud 9 eliminates the Sandstorm effect. Therefore, he's going to hit the Hydro Pumps, the Surfs, the Ice Beams. So yeah, Golduck is a great Pokemon to use on a Sandstorm team. What can I tell you? Anyways, we have to sacrifice a Pokemon here. I'm sorry, Skylar, the Pidgeot. We have to do this. I can go into my Alakazam nicknamed mindset here. Shout out Ruins for the nickname, of course. I figured I can, because I will outspeed it, right? We go for Calm Mind. I figured I can just at least set up a little bit with a Hydro Pump. It is, I suppose, 100% accurate because of that Cloud 9 ability that Golduck possesses. I know I can live a hit. I go for Shockwave as he switches into Flareon. The thing is, at +1, Shockwave is not a really strong move. I probably should have used a different move. I don't know. It's not like I predicted the Flareon to switch out. But he did. So, what can you do? You see that we are taking Sandstorm damage now because Cloud9 is inactive. I figured I could outspeed Flareon. It is very slow, but he has that priority quick attack to take me out. That is very unfortunate because at +1, Alakazam can actually handle a lot of his Pokemon quite well. So losing him kind of sucks a little bit. I do have my Dragonite here, who has a lot of coverage moves. It has access to Surf this battle. I go for Surf now, as he brings in Magneton pretty much for death fodder because he is asleep. It's going to be a 2-hit KO on the Magneton here. That's okay. See how much damage this does? It's okay damage. Like, I wish there was more damage to that, but that's not the case. While this is going on though, I will say, in this game, Dragonite is more specially based than physical, because again, there was no physical or special split. And then you look at ghost types like Gengar, Haunter, they're more physically based, right? That is something that we had to learn. Or I guess in this situation, I had to learn, because I began competitive battling in Generation 5. Anyways, so I went for Thunderbolt with Dragonite. I did surprise my opponent a little bit with that, but unfortunately it's not enough to KO the Golduck, and then he goes for a times 4 weak Ice Beam attack. Very unfortunate. The only way for me to come back this battle is to survive this Ice Beam here, and then we go for Sleep Powder. Put him to sleep, and then go for Sunny Day and Solar Beam. But I miss. So, that's the end of that battle for sure, because there's nothing else I can do. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. I had so much fun. It was my first time playing Generation 3 competitively. There's a lot that I learned during this fight, for sure. I don't know if I'll keep doing it. We'll see how we do in the future. Maybe I'll come back to it. But man, that was definitely a learning experience for me. So we do survive this surf with Tyranitar. I go for Crunch, and we lock out the Golduck, finally. Man, that leaves just the Exeggutor and I think 2 other Pokemon, maybe 3 other ones. Yes, this one and 2 other Pokemon. I know that for a fact. Unfortunately, Exeggutor is faster, so he's gonna go for Leafgreen, and that's going to be the end of this battle. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, I really appreciate your guys' support. And definitely stick around as Pokemon Champions rolls out next month. I have some other content ideas in the meantime. Definitely stick around for that. Anyways, thanks Ruins for the battle, of course. If y'all like this, be sure you like and subscribe. Check out my opponent's YouTube channel down below. I'll see you guys in the next battle video.